Nathan sat in the corner of the quiet cafe, watching the snow fall in slow, exhausted sheets outside the window. The world looked frozen in regret, and inside him the storm felt just as heavy. His coffee had gone cold an hour ago, untouched, but he didn't care. Ever since losing his wife, every morning felt like a battle he barely survived. He was trying to stay strong for his little daughter, Addie. Trying to keep going when every step felt like walking with broken bones. He didn't hear the bell above the cafe door, didn't notice the soft steps approaching until a trembling voice gently broke through his thoughts. He blinked, lifted his eyes, and saw her, Rachel. A young woman dusted in snow, hair damp from the bitter wind, exhaustion written across her face like a story she never wanted to tell. In her arms, she carried a little boy bundled in a worn blue jacket, his cheeks pink from the cold. She asked, quietly, if she could sit. Not like she expected a yes, more like she was used to being told no. Nathan moved his cup aside and told her she could sit as long as she and the boy stayed until they warmed up. He didn't know why he said it, only that something inside him softened at the sight of them. Rachel sat carefully, as if afraid she'd take up too much space, while Jonah fidgeted in her lap, trying to stay warm. Nathan recognized the tiredness in her eyes. It was the same kind he saw every morning in his own mirror, the exhaustion of someone who'd lost too much, too soon. She didn't speak at first. She simply held her son close, rubbing his tiny hands between hers, trying to bring warmth back into them. Nathan quietly ordered a warm meal for them. He acted like it was nothing, but inside his chest something ached at how grateful she looked for such a small kindness. Watching her tear off small pieces of toast for Jonah pulled memories out of him he wasn't ready for, Addie laughing at the breakfast table, his wife teasing him for burning the toast again. The echo of those mornings squeezed his heart until he had to look away. Rachel noticed. She didn't ask questions, but her silence felt understanding, like she didn't need to know the details to recognize the hurt. After a few minutes, she began to share tiny pieces of her story. Leaving a painful home, trying to rebuild, doing everything she could for Jonah even when she had nothing left for herself. Her voice trembled, but it held a kind of strength born from surviving the unthinkable. Nathan listened, not because he felt pity, but because her words felt familiar. Pain recognizes pain. Brokenness recognizes brokenness. And in the middle of all that, kindness becomes a lifeline. Slowly, the heaviness in the air shifted into something gentler. Jonah played with the spoon on the table, Rachel's shoulders relaxed bit by bit, and Nathan felt himself breathing easier than he had in months. He shared a part of his story too, not everything, just enough for her to understand he wasn't offering help from a safe distance. He was standing in the valley with her. Her smile, small and shaky, warmed the coldest corners of him. Time passed, people came and went around them, but their corner of the cafe felt like a small shelter carved out of a storm. When Jonah leaned sleepily against Rachel, Nathan realized she didn't just need warmth, she needed to feel seen, even if only for today. He asked gently if she had somewhere safe to go. She nodded, but the hesitation in her eyes told the truth. She was alone the way he had been. He offered to walk her and Jonah home. Not out of obligation, but because something deep inside insisted he should. After a moment, she agreed. Out in the snow, he walked just close enough to shield them from the wind. Their breaths formed soft clouds in the freezing air. Jonah's little head rested on Rachel's shoulder, and Nathan imagined Addie and Jonah playing together someday, two little souls who deserved light instead of carrying the weight of adult worries. When they reached her small apartment building, Rachel paused. Her eyes glistened as she thanked him with a voice full of emotions she couldn't name. Before she turned to go, she held his gaze. And in that moment, he felt it, her unspoken words. "Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for being kind when you didn't have to be." Nathan watched her climb the stairs until she disappeared behind the hallway. Snowflakes landed on his coat, melting into warmth instead of cold. For the first time in months, he didn't feel like a man drowning in loss. He felt like someone who had given healing and received healing too. And somewhere deep in his heart, he knew this wasn't an ending. This was the beginning of something neither of them expected, but both needed more than they realized.